do anymore is also going to do jack, because he's got quite a lot of stalkers, and very soon they're going to have blink. However, he is going for charge first. And he just added another cannon, so basically a Ling run by is impossible. So he is about to mine out this base, and this is going to stretch him a little thin as he goes for this further away third, because as you notice, there's quite a nice little gap here between the natural and his main base. This is quite easy to defend for Terran and Protoss. It's nice and simple. You can put your army there, you can put siege tanks up here, blah blah blah, but the third is always more exposed and always hard to kill. We do see Scream is watching for that third and fourth expansion. We do see a worker coming over here, possibly to lay down a third expansion, but I'm not sure. Again, sorry, not again, I've never said this before. It's a bit of an iffy point if you want to try and take an expansion over here. An expansion over here gives you one advantage. If they don't spot it, you mine for free. An expansion over here gives you an advantage. It's close to your base, so that if they spot it, you can take it. Now, he has moved over here, which would be indicative of him taking the gold, but if he does that, these Lings are going to put a stop to it. Now, these Lings are going to move out and snipe this worker, and Jesus Christ, that's a lot of roaches. I would be going Immortals right now, ladies and gentlemen, if I knew about it. We do see Ultralisks. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? Ultralisks. Ultralisks for the win. Whenever I play Zerg, I play Ling, Roach, Ultra, and my friend plays Phoenixes. It's great. It kills everything. The Phoenixes pick everything up. My Ultralisks get below. Slice, 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 splash. You're all dead. Holy crap, that's a lot of gas going into sentries. Now, this amount of roaches should be able to push this down with some Ultralisk support. The cannons will be firing on the Ultralisks and the Lings. The Lings are the cannon fodder here, the Ultralisks are the tanks. I hate to use a WoW or LOL. WoW or LOL, I don't know, analogy? Yeah, analogy is the right word. Lings are your minions, they're your DPS, and they're your tanks. However, at the moment they're playing Mord, who can just tank and DPS at the same time. So, yes, anyone who plays LoL is going to get that. Otherwise, I do deeply apologize. Now, this army is also reasonably large, and he does have the advantage upgrades-wise. Quite a significant advantage. 1 armor and 1 weapons doesn't sound like much, but it does make a huge advantage, because you can basically think about it as around a 10% advantage. So he has 10% more army than you can see here. He also has Immortals. Immortals rip through, you guessed it, Ultralisked, because they're armored, and Roaches, because they're armored. Now 3 Immortals can one-shot a Roach. So that's the critical number that you do not want to be dealing with, because then they're going to start ripping your Roaches to pieces. But with Lings, and they will inevitably fire at the closest thing, that's a good stalling point. However, with Zealots, now I'm just going to pause here for a moment. I'm just going to pause. First thing I have with this confrontation, you have a bunch of Stalkers in the front. Stalkers are your ranged support, not your running innie units. Okay, that's not true. Your Sentries and Immortals are your ranged support heavy hitters, but your Stalkers are your fastest units. You always have to micro them to make sure they're in the back of a fight. Now, secondly, we see an excellent Concave running around wrong here with Roaches. The Ultralisks are a bit blocked off though, so they might not be able to get around and do quite as much. This is getting into the nitty-gritty of StarCraft. Positioning. At the moment, there's 2 things wrong with the Protoss' positioning. His Stalkers are at the back, when his Zealots should be at the front. Now, Charge will sort that out, but he's going to lose a few Stalkers, and this statue is going to be annoying. And if we look at it from the Ultralisks Zerg point of view, there's one problem. He's got a wall of Roaches, which is great. Wall of Roaches deal a lot of DPS and are painful to go through, especially with Zealots. But he has 5 Ultralisks and only 1 is doing anything. Now, I don't know how this fight is going to play out, but I suggest this Ultralisk will go around here, then this one will go and then eventually around here, then eventually around here, or the Roaches in front are going to die. Now, these Lings are doing great. They're going around behind the army, which is inevitably where the Sentries are going to be. sentries, stalkers, immortals, and again hit them, which is what they're best at. So positioning wise, Scream, you just did an amazing thing. Now, this immortal up here, if you want to get into perfect positioning, plonk it there. Now, this immortal here, plonk it there, or there, or there. It doesn't really matter. But this fight is going to be interesting. The other interesting thing is that this isn't an attack move, he's just ordered them to move. Now this is something I'm always very, I cannot accentuate the veries, careful of, because you end up in these situations. You've got the zealots here which are doing nothing, but with charge will immediately get to the front. But at the moment they can't, because they haven't got an attack move. So we'll see what happens. He's losing units, and then finally the attack move comes. He does hallucinate 3 Colossi, but he's probably going to know that they're hallucinated. He might not, however. So this is quite an interesting fight. He has brung in more, so they're going to be taking damage, but they don't. He's unaware that they are real. So this is the fight which I think is going to change the tide of the battle. But to be honest, it's a fairly even fight, and I'm actually having a hard time seeing what Protoss has got, because he's got all these fake Colossi up here. But the Roaches and Ultralisks are dying quickly. There's not actually going to be enough of them to get through these 4 cannons plus Immortals. So it was a very, very done fight by both sides. We had the Zerglings come around here, which was probably the best move, but the second best move was those Colossi. One, they actually hid his army from sight, so he couldn't target the Immortals, which were the big damage dealers in this fight. If we look at the most damaged Immortal, it got 5 kills. Another one got 6. Another one got 0 and 0, probably because they weren't in the fight. So they were the big damage dealers, and he made a semi-human, well, Colossi shield, which blocked them from sight so they couldn't be target fired. Now we do see a Spire going down, but the Spire won't actually get up because there's a minute and a bit in the game, and I think I know why. You have 5 Immortals, no wait, 6 Immortals versus a largely Ultralisk army. Now true, there are lots of Lings, but there's enough Zealots to deal with that, given Zealots 3-shot Lings. No, they're back to 2-shotting. So these oh, that's not good. You have Immortals, which are going to be hitting Lings, which means they're going to get their butt kicked. So, I have a feeling that Zes just lost the game because he was in a bad positioning. With a couple of more Zealots, I think he would have been alright, but otherwise, I think he's kind of boned. I think this is GG from the Scream point of view. We do see 50 more Lings plus an Ultralisk on the production overlay. These 3 Ultralisks can probably get through this many cannons regardless. With 53 Lings, 54 I should say, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Zes kind of knows this, he just lost his army, he's on low minerals. He's also mined out his main, which may have been one reason why he left. But anyway, holy crap, that's a lot of observers. Well, I guess that's what you get in StarCast Finals. This is Kino DVT signing off, and this has been a great game.